Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In the last week we started the Kafei and Anju side quest and we're honestly most of the way through it. There's only like 3 events left to see and they take us all the way into the final hours. But first, at the end of the last part we got ourselves the Khitan mask finally. Honestly one of the first masks you can see in the game period because Kafei almost always heads to the post office immediately when you start the first 3-day cycle outside the clock tower. We can use that Khitan mask for a side quest immediately, and it involves something we've seen since the very start of the game. Not even since the first 3-day cycle, since we were in the Lost Woods chasing down Skull Kid with Epona. And the most convenient place to do this is to head back to North Clocktown. You might remember the weird little dancing pieces of grass I've used to grind for so many rupees throughout this LP. If you attack any of those throughout the game when you have the Khitan's mask equipped, something different happens. Because the grass will separate, and from its ashes comes a Khitan. Hello, child. If you're attempting to fool me, it is impossible. We Khitans can recognize our own by the sheen of our tails. But you're a good child. Let me put you to a test. Answer me this. Pick one of the 3 choices. What color trunks does Tingle the Mapmaker wear? So for this, Khitan is going to give us 5 questions randomly selected from a list of about, I think, 40. To test your knowledge about the Land of Termina and general. Some of them are pretty easy, some of them are absurd, like how many cuckoos are at Romani Ranch. I think Zelda Dungeon has a full list of these, and I'll put a link to that in the description, hopefully I remember to. Just to help with that if you're playing along. By talking to a lot of NPCs, you can learn just most of the answers, like one of them is like, who's the leader of the Bombers Gang? That's Jim. How many mailboxes are there in Clocktown? That's 5. What does the owner of the bomb shop call his mother? That's Mommy. But some of the other ones are a little more just out there, like what instrument does the Skull Kid play? That would be the flute, but you'd only know that if you've been paying attention to very specific scenes that aren't even that major in this game. In fact, if anything, it's more prominent in the last game. And for completing it, you get yourself a piece of heart. Let us meet again, child. So, this is where I get to talk about something interesting. We have 2 hearts left, so 8 heart containers, heart pieces total, now down to 7. But there's really only 3 left in the standard way. The final 4 heart pieces in the game are in the endgame area, which is kind of unique for the series. So in terms of like going all about the Land of Termina, there's only 3 more to get. For now though, we need to go catch up with Kafei. He chased down Sakon down to the Ikana Canyon, so we need to head over there. And we've already actually seen where Sakon will eventually show up here because it's where we gave the Deku Scrub the Ocean Title Deed. I forget when you can see it during the 3-day cycle as well, but at some points during the cycle, I think maybe it's if you don't save the old lady, you can find Sakon dancing around in this particular area right about where I'm standing. Just going like, woo-wee, and he's like, can I see your sword? And you should not let him see your sword if you do that, because I think he will just outright steal it. Now, this little part of the river down here, we've taken part of the eastern half of the minimap before, but if we look just to the west, not only are these rocks over here, but there's an obvious door. Sakon's hideout, protected by impenetrable security, although there is a way you can actually clip into there to trigger the events in there earlier than you'd think. And behind the rocks is Kafei. I found him, Green Hat Boy. He's using this place as his safe house for keeping his stolen goods. Apparently his name is Sakon. He came to the shop last night and I followed him. His storage for the things he's stolen is on the other side of this rock door. Only Sakon can open it. The only way in is to wait for Sakon to arrive. I'll wait. I've made a promise to Anju. He will show up. And now we need to wait. I don't skip time here pretty much ever just because I'm always afraid I might go too far. I think Sakon himself shows up at about 6, but he only opens up his hideout at about 7. So you do need to wait a little bit, but it's far from the longest wait in this side quest overall. I'll talk more about the glitch in particular to get into Sakon's hideout in the first or second day when we're actually in there. The main thing to know is you need the bunny hood, and you need to roll into the little crack, I think on the left side of the doorway. It's kind of precise, because I think if you miss, you just void out and respawn at the entrance you came from, but it's not too bad. And there he is, just gallivanting through the field, all joyfully, blissfully unaware of the two onlookers who wish him ill. Or at the least just want to steal back the shit he stole, which at that point, that's his own fault, you know? And there we go. At this point, by the way, I recommend you actually do play the Song of Inverse Time. It's the only time I recommend you play it in this side quest, because the timing coming up can be a little precise otherwise. Always forget about that. Almost forgot about that, rather. Yes. Good thing is, too, he doesn't shut it behind him. In fact, the moment he enters the hideout, he completely disappears, and I don't think, like, he's even anywhere actively in there. Let's finish this side quest off strong. I think you could look around and there are some unique models in that room, but it doesn't really matter. Ah! Look, there's a mask there! It's the sun's mask. Kafei, there's a thing in front of you. Oh. Now I've done it. Step on that switch! What? Are you telling us what to do? It's some setup where the door stays open only while the switch is pressed. Alright, get on that, because we are actively timed here. Also notably, this is the first time Link isn't the only playable character in a Zelda game, however minor it might be. There should be some device in this room that also opens the door. Oh, the mask! So what they're showing us here is that there's a hole at the end of the conveyor belt. If the mask falls in the hole, you have to start the entire quest over, so don't let that happen. He's trying to pull it out of our reach and make his escape. We've got to hurry. So when you're playing as Kafei, you're pushing blocks onto switches. There are going to be multiple colors of switches. Blue, which opens up the door for Link, which then leads into a combat room. Red, which speeds up the conveyor, and yellow that slows down the conveyor. That's no good, but this isn't the switch. Go check out that room. There should be some sort of mechanism. Please, there's no time. I don't like him, but is there a choice? Should we help him? Not moving ahead in the face of danger when you know it's for the better is just like Tail. That's it, let's go. Thankfully, the combat rooms with Link are much easier than the block puzzle rooms with Kafei. If only because it's usually only one enemy and you can kill it with a spin attack pretty quickly. Playing the inverse Song of Time, I believe, does slow down the conveyor belt, so you're really going to want to take advantage of that. This can be rough, but it's not the worst in the game, and supposedly, part of the reason why the Song of Inverse Time only slows down time's flow to half in the 3DS version is because of this side quest. Something about, I'm not sure if it's the playable Kafei or the Kafei who's just roaming about in the middle of Clocktown. Apparently just didn't cooperate well at 1/3 speed with the increased frame rate or something like that. Kind of weird, but it's far from the strangest programming quirk I've seen in a video game, let alone on the N64. I got the sun's mask back. You helped Kafei. This was added to your notebook. There's still time. I must get back to town. And off he goes. Honestly, kind of a fast walking speed for a kid his size. So now the thing of, you have to hope he makes it in time. And I don't think you can follow him all the way. I think past a certain point he just despawns and the timing is just set into place at that point. But we are now in the final 6 hours, so let's head back to Clocktown. There are notably some scenes I didn't show off, or even things with the side quest I don't show off, period. Like you can investigate Anju's grandmother's diary for more stuff. There's a scene with Gorman, like the troop leader Gorman, and the Indiegogo manager and Madame Aroma back in the mayor's office on the first day, but I just didn't show off because I plain forgot to. It doesn't add a lot, but if you really care, I think there's videos of basically every optional scene in the game out there on YouTube at this point. I'll be on vacation for a short while. Please, don't look for me. Might as well show this off. If you come into the Swordsman's Dojo from the start of the game at the final hours, he's just back here. I'm scared. I can't take it. I don't want to die. Grim. Also, I think you can hit the gong in the Swordsman Dojo, and you get more rupees depending on what you hit it with. Like the Goron Punch, I think, gets you a good bit. But there's still an unresolved plot line in the meanwhile. We got that letter for Kafei's mom, and you can deliver it in 2 ways, which gets kind of annoying. I'll talk more about that in a moment. For now, let's show it to the postman. Oh, I want to flee, but it's not written on the schedule. To me, the delivery schedule, it's the highest priority. Well, how about this delivery? This is a priority mail seal. This is the highest of priorities. I shall deliver it. And thus, he's going to run his way over to where Madame Aroma currently is. How he knows that, I don't know. But for simplicity's sake, I'll just tell you, she is in the milk bar. Kind of annoyingly, you do actively still have to put on the Romani mask to enter it during the final 6 hours. But oh well, not a big deal. So, I say there's 2 ways you can do this. If you give the priority mail to the postman, you get 1 reward. If you give the mail directly to Madame Aroma herself, you get a 2nd reward. Both are required for 100%. So this means, at least for a fact, you need to do most of this side quest twice for 100%. So that means about 2 hours of your time, no matter what, dedicated to just this quest on the N64 version, way less due to the changes to the Song of Double Time in the 3DS release. And I'm not the biggest fan of that, but for my priorities, I think it's best for us to get the reward we get by giving the letter to Madame Aroma directly last, because it'll help us in the end game for a couple of reasons. I want to say from memory as well, the postman does run faster to get here than normal, but I honestly have seldom ever actually followed the postman around to see what happens. Hello there, Madame Aroma. Sir, it's the rules. Please wear your Armani's mask inside the bar. Alright. I have a delivery for you, postmistress. Oh my, it can't be. You're still here? Tomorrow's delivery is still scheduled. What are you saying? Did you see the sky? It's terrible. But... Oh my, well, what shall we do? It's from Kafei. It's priority mail. I'm so happy to think something good would come in the end. Thank you. You flee now. That's an order. Understood. Might as well talk to the shopkeeper. As you can see, all our customers have taken refuge. It may be my undoing, but I'm the sort of fellow who will stay at his business through thick and thin. And I continue standing here at the counter hoping one of my favorite customers will appear. And I wasn't wrong. See? He stepped in. Oh, that hurts. And we might as well talk to Madame Aroma to see what she has at this point to say to us. Oh dear, you all right with not fleeing? It looks like this is it for this town, you know. You saw the moon, didn't you? It's gotten so huge. All the townsfolk have fled. You should flee too. Far away. And what do you have to say about the Kafei quest yourself? Oh dear, you're the one searching for Kafei. How is it? Have you found him? I mean, you should know. Yeah, you got a letter just a moment ago. I forget if I even tried to show this off. I think there might be a scene at this point if you head over to the ranch to see if they're all together at this point, but I've honestly never tried to check that, so don't quote me on that. For now, though, we want to wait for the postman to get over here. I have decided to flee. It is an order from the postmaster. I am now free. I can set my own schedule. I don't need this anymore, so here, I'll let you have it. We got the postman's hat. This dignified hat allows you to check the mail. Use C to put it on. It might just suit you. You saved a troubled public servant. This was added to your notebook. And off he runs, free as the wind. Sadly, more or less any NPC that leaves Clocktown, the moment they leave the town, they actually despawn from the map, period, so you can't see him, like, run off in the distance over the hills. Similarly, I don't think you can see where the old lady for the bomb shop comes from. Not that would really add anything to the game overall. So, the postman's hat. It's third to last hat in the game for us, and we can use it for its purpose right now. If we equip it, and talk to any of the post boxes throughout Clocktown, you're doing a great job, ka-ching. Some item other than a letter has been deposited, ka-ching. You get a piece of heart. Cool. Nice work, ka-ching. So at this point, we just have to hope Kafei makes it in time. And we might as well go wait alongside Anju, who is in her family's room on the top floor of the Stockpot Inn. This scene's probably the most effective use of the Final Hour song, just because of the tenseness in the air. I've decided to wait for him. I've made my promise. I'm fine with this. I believe in him. Kinda surprised your mother let you do that, honestly, but kinda glad. Now, Kafei does cut things pretty close. I think he only shows up when there's about a minute and a half left in the final 6 minutes here. Which, it's still a little close, but I guess he did walk all the way from Ikana Valley, although it's not like a 6-hour walk unless he had to climb over the fences, maybe. There you are. I've met you before. What a familiar scent. Long, long ago, yes. We were still young. We made a promise, didn't we? The masks of the sun and the moon. We were to exchange them on the day of the Carnival of Time. Anju, I'm sorry I was late. Welcome home. They're lovers, but they look just like a mother and child. Let us exchange the promised masks. We've exchanged our oaths and become a couple. You're a witness. Please accept this mask. The last normal mask in the game, we got the couple's mask. It's filled with their love. Please take refuge. We're fine here. We shall greet the morning together. The two gave you a happy mask. This was added to your notebook. And that's the end of the quest. Obviously, we have to do the entire thing again, and there's still 2 heart pieces left for us to get, but we're getting down there. I always feel bad when I have to rewind time after the first time I do this quest, if only because it feels like getting 2 rewards marked behind 1 split choice at the very end here just kind of makes the mood get soured. Like, every time I finish this quest, even if I know I have stuff left, I always want to go and just go tackle the final area right now by heading up to go confront the Skull Kid on top of the tower. But since I'm so compelled to do 100% in this game every time I play it, I can't do that, and it's kind of painful. With that, though, this is the end of this 3-day cycle. Clocktown's not looking too good at the moment. But hopefully, the next time we rewind time will be the last. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 30, we do the entire quest again alongside some other stuff. See you guys then.